Hello, it's Randi Rhodes. Here's a clip from our show, and go to randirhodes.com for the whole thing and a podcast. Buy a stinking podcast.
Mary had a little man.
The fault. We believe that all men are created equal.
To the magnificent mosaic that is America.
From radio beacon to radio beacon. I have a dream today. Change has come to America.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
It's a figment of your imagination.
Randi Rhodes Show. Turn up your mind.
Donald J. Trump is calling for a total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States until our country's representatives can figure out what the hell is going on.
The executive order gets rescinded. One good thing
You'll rescind that one too?
One good thing
You'll
about
rescind the Dream Act executive
you're
order.
going to have
the
to.
DACA.
We have to make a whole new set of standards. And when people come in, they have
So
to
you're
come
going to
in.
split up families.
Chuck,
You're going to deport children.
Chuck, no. We're going to keep the families together. We have to keep the families together.
But you're going to keep
But
them
they have
together
to
out?
go. But they have to go.
What if they have no place to go?
We will work with them. They have to go. Chuck, we either have a country or we don't have a country.
He hasn't changed his position on immigration. He's changed the word that he is saying.
The words
what
that
he
he
has
is saying.
always said from the beginning is that he does not that he does not want to allow people to stay in this country illegally. He does want to build a wall, but he wants to work with Congress to get things done. And that's exactly what he has said from the beginning.
Katrina, he has said get them out.
Yes.
He's been very clear about his position. This is a change. This is a shift. This is a flip-flop. It's an evolution. Whatever words you want to use.
No, Erica, it's the how that's being discussed now. He's always said if they're here illegally, they have to go.
Before he talked about the how, and he said there would be a deportation force. So now he is shifting. Katrina, there is a definite different message that we're hearing now.
There's not a different message. He's using different words to give that message.
It's not a different message. It's different words. They're so screwed. They are so screwed. This went on way too long, the racism and the hatred. And of course, Donald Trump put, this Bannon creature and Roger Ailes inside the campaign. And so today, let's start with where we were last night. Last night, did you see the Bernie? I saw the Bernie. You didn't see the Bernie? Oh, the Bernie was nice. It was nice. I missed the Bernie. I missed him a lot. He was in Burlington, Vermont. Let's just, he was... trying to tell us that we had done good. He was trying to say the movement's not over. He was telling everybody that the revolution, hashtag our revolution, has just, begun, that we have achieved a certain amount of progress on the platform, and the platform is not just a piece of paper, and that it's now our job to make sure that we go forward. He talked about all the inroads that we made on things like private prisons that nobody was talking about prior to Bernie's running. He talked about the $250,000. Even Republicans now understand that people making above that have to have their taxes increased. He talked about oligarchy. He talked about how Citizens United was never really discussed, and now it's going to be a ballot. It's going to be on the ballot, I believe, in Washington State, at least not to overturn it because you can't, it's federal, but to get a sense of the people. He talked about various progressives that he was working with, that he was trying to get elected to state legislatures, to Congress, to the Senate, state senates, ballot measures in California, about ballot measures in Colorado to create a single-payer healthcare system in Colorado that will be on your ballot this particular time. It was really it was good, and he was saying, how none of this is really over. I'll just sum it up with this.
And let me, speaking only for myself, tell you what to me the political revolution means. And it means to me nothing less than the transforming of the United States of America, the transformation of our country into a society in which we will not continue to have a handful of billionaires controlling our economic, political, or media life. If you think back on the history of our country, you understand that this nation has never been about oligarchy. And we must, our generation, must never allow oligarchy to become the governing doctrine of our nation.
It was beautiful to see him. I was happy to see him. I recorded him, and I was thinking, oh, today will be so great because we'll have some Bernie porn. You know, I mean, he's like, he does it for me. So, you know, it's porn. Oh, welcome everybody. Welcome everybody to the free live show. I hope it was what you expected. However, that went on. And then Hannity, part 2 of the Trumpian fraud being perpetrated on this country continued. And let me tell you something. This was really, it's a debacle. What goes, you could tell there's nobody minding the store there. You could tell that the natives are restless and they are, you know, the inmates are running the asylum. Watching that is like, it's like watching One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I mean, the characters are just as rich and Trump is just as ill. I mean, you expect to see Nurse Ratched come in, medication time, and hearing that music. Those are my cigarettes, Nurse Ratched. Mine. Well, she'd be more like Chief and say nothing. But, oh, my God, it was off the hook last night. And this is kind of long, but you gotta... I had to do it. I couldn't even figure out where to cut it. It is so bizarre. Donald Trump is now talking to the white supremacists on the second part of the Hannity. And he is soft pedaling what he said, you know, that he was going to deport 11 million immigrants. He was illegals, people who are undocumented, and their children. Everybody, they had to go. That's what that clip was. They have to go. Where he told Chuck Todd on Meet the Press, I don't. And Chuck Todd says, so you're going to repeal the DREAM Act, you know, the DACA, which you know has benefited, you know, hundreds of thousands of young Latinos who are in this country who graduated college because of this, who are building small businesses because of this law, you know, gave them the chance to come out of the shadows and do their thing, which turned out to be education and business. Terrible. But on Meet the Press back in December, Trump was on his, you know, gilded gold plane that any Iranian dictator would be very proud to call his own. Apparently the Saudis loved the yacht so much with the gold and the gilded that they bought it for the amount of debt that Donald Trump owed on it. So, but he said on Meet the Press, they got to go. And Chuck Todd said, so but what about the families? He said, we'll work with the families, but they all got to go. They could come back, you know, through the door that he's going to put in the wall, but they got to go. They got to go.
The executive order gets rescinded. One good thing
You'll rescind that one too?
One good thing
You'll rescind the DREAM Act executive order,
have to.
the DACA.
We have to make a whole new set of standards. And when people come in, they have to come in.
So you're going to split up families.
Chuck,
you're going to deport children.
Chuck, no. We're going to keep the families together. We have to keep the families together.
But you're going to keep them together out?
But they have to go.
They have no place to go.
We will work with them. They have to go. Chuck, we either have a country or we don't have a country.
Okay, we either have a country or we don't have a country. And everybody, that they all got to go. We'll keep the families together. We're not going to split up the families. We're going to deport the whole family. The whole family, even if they've been here 20 years, even if they've been here 15 years, even if they were born here, but their parents weren't, we'll keep them together, the legals and the illegal, but we're getting rid of all of them. We're getting rid of every single last one of them. Okay, so that was his position all throughout, well, until yesterday. Or actually, to be completely factual, the day before yesterday. That was his position. Now he's on Hannity and he's trying to tell the white supremacists, hey, man, I'm not really changing my message. I'm only changing the words. And you have to change your words with me. And he's trying to talk these radical white supremacists. This group of people, they're simply, in my book, they're racist. Don't give them a new hand. All right. I did record Hillary's speech. It was pretty damn good. It sounded like the monologue from this show from like 3 days ago. It really did. It was almost verbatim. And I'm so glad she did it. I'm so glad. But this was last night. We'll play this, then we'll take a break. We'll come back and I'll play you Hillary's response to what is going on not just the Fox News Network. I mean, the Fox News Network is the cable outlet for white supremacy, and it has been for a really long time. It's been the home of Tiller the Baby Killer. It's been the home of white identity politics. It's been the home of black lives. Black slaves were fed well They were fed well, and all lives matter. Black lives, have some nerve saying that only Black lives matter. It didn't say only. It said Black lives matter too, which they can't handle that either. So, okay, we know what Fox News is. So let me just play you these 4.5 minutes of Trump selling. I mean, literally P.T. Barnuming the audience into accepting that he's not going to deport 11 million people, that it was all a ruse. It was all a joke. He lied to you, and he's going to do what he's got to do, but let him win because, he'll do it. He'll do it.
Okay, you're not a criminal alien. You committed no crimes, but you didn't respect our laws and sovereignty. You also seem to be indicating there might be something other than they have to go back.
Look,
am I reading that right?
We have to follow the laws of our country. We have to
go back.
We have to follow the laws. Now, can we be, and I'll ask the audience, you have somebody who's terrific, who's been here
20 years?
Right, long time.
Like Judge Curiel?
Long court proceeding, long everything, okay? In other words, to get them out. Can we go through a process, or do you think they have to get out? Tell me. I mean, I don't know. You tell me.
I don't know.
Well, let's do a poll. How many think they should go through a process that maybe give them a chance?
Let's do it. How many?
How many people?
How many think they should go?
This is a Salem witch trial, live on the TV.
So let me ask you, because this place is packed.
Yeah.
Does everybody get this kind of a crowd?
There were so many empty seats in the front. I can't even tell you.
It's very easy. That's why he keeps calling me back. See, this is why he keeps calling us back, right? But look, let me ask you the process. So you have somebody that's been in the country for 20 years, has done a great job, has a job, and everything else. Okay. Do we take him and the family, her or him or whatever, and send him out?
It's a game show.
Or when somebody really has shown, it's called like the merit system, other than they did break the law in the first place, okay? Mm-hmm. And that's a little unfair to people, but we're going to let people come in anyway. They'll come in legally. We're going to let people come in anyway. It's not going to have an impact. So do we tell these people to get out, number one, or do we work with them and let them stay in some form? Okay, are you ready? I'm just curious, because it's a very interesting situation. No, wait. So the bad ones, the gang members, all that, what do you think? Does anybody disagree on the gang members? Is there one person? Yeah, there's a gang member over there. Okay. Is there one person? And I mean, we will get them out so fast. The police know who they are. This is no, great secret, I wonder who they are. These police know, and the people know who they are. The police, they know who they are, and they're going to be gone, so fast your head will spin. Okay, so that's easy, right? So now we have the person, 20 years, been an upstanding person. The family's great, everyone's great. Do we throw them out, or do we work with them and try and do something? Okay, ready?
Well,
ready?
how many say work with them?
Number one, we'll say throw out. Number two, we work with them. Ready?
Door number one or door number two?
Number two. Now wait.
Okay, you get the gist there? I didn't let the whole thing, but this went on all night last night, the whole hour. It was do you want what's behind door number one or door number two? And he's like, I don't know, I don't know what to do. So I'm going to ask the audience over here, what do I do? What is my policy? And it was the sickest, most twisted circus I've ever seen in my life posing as a presidential campaign. It was racial. It was hostile. It was unbelievably without integrity or without any sort of I mean, it had no journalistic quality to it at all. It was literally a game show where they were deciding the fate of people's lives. Now, you could either look at it as some really weird game reality, The Apprentice, except that you get deported instead of get fired. You get deported to a country you may never have been to in your whole life. But for me, it's a Salem witch trial. That's exactly what it is. And what was the Salem witch trial? It was a bunch of white men purging people that did not share their religion, which is basically what his ban on Muslims and his, a religious test at the border. And I mean, this guy is really straight out of the 1600s. How bizarre this man is. But Hillary, finally today, I'll play it when we come back.
For a commercial-free, on-demand, whenever, wherever listening experience, visit RandiRhodes.com for your personal premium podcast today.
Hi, it's Randi Rhodes. We missed you today. For the entire show, whenever, wherever, go to RandiRhodes.com and buy a stinking podcast. And don't forget to catch our show live right here from 4 to 6 Eastern.